July, 1664. The weather gets hotter. The city stews beneath the rays of the sun. The one time we wish for English weather and we get Italian. Or maybe it blows over from the land of the Moors. A place I would very much like to travel to when this is over. Working on the dock, I would often talk to the captains who had plied their trade there and brought back the exotic and the rare, spices, silks. And they talk of these men, tall, dark, in flowing robes and turbaned heads, shrewd of business, but with an open hand and heart to the traveller. I long to see it for myself. One day. All trade had ceased by the order of the magistrates in April, and the poor who lived by their labour now live by charity. Where this charity money comes from only can be guessed at. So many of the clergy who were meant to administer the parish poor fund packed up long ago, and the churches remain shut and bolted. It is said that the bulk has been given by charitable individuals, but others say that the city authorities have raided funds meant for other quarters, such as the orphan fund that is meant to buy apprenticeships for those that have reached an age in the workhouses. There will be a mighty hole in public finances once this is over. I have no doubt about that. And in many personal finance too. Although I suspect those in high places will land on their feet. There are some who always land on their feet, plague or no, and they tend to be the wealthy, who use their money for no one but themselves. I admit, I find it hard to fill my time. Anxiety prevents me from continuing with my new novel, Robinson Crusoe, the story of a man in exile on a desert island. It is too close to home. We are all in exile now. We avoid our neighbours and friends. We stare at each other in the street and can barely nod a greeting. And the wearer of beak-like masks that has become more widespread now, especially for physics, makes them seem sinister and otherworldly. The story of Crusoe was told to me by an old sea dog about a sailor who was shipwrecked and, being the only one left alive, had to find a way to stop his wits from going mad. I should know how he feels, but I cannot put my mind to writing it. Being at a loss one day, I decided to walk down by the river. I thought I might find a boatman to speak to so as to add his story to my journal. And, right enough, I saw someone dressed as a riverman walking along the bank, so I hallooed him. "How are you, sir, in these troubled times?"
Who is asking?
"My name is Defoe, sir. Daniel Defoe. I mean you no harm. I'm a writer. I just wish to document how people fare in these troubled times."
For what reason?
Well, just for my own journal.
Well, alas, almost all round here be sick or dead. Over there, a husband, a wife, and 5 children. There, an old couple. There, a man, a servant, and 3 sons.
And what of your household?
My cottage is over there.
He pointed to a run-down dwelling clinging to the bank.
My wife and 1 child is sick, another dead, 2 living.
But you are well.
I have moved out of the dwellings, so yes, I am well.
And how can you abandon them?
I can't, I don't, but I dare not live with them.
Well, then where do you live?
My boat, sir, my boat. And I bring some money and victuals when I can.
You are a waterman?
Yes, sir. My name is Elijah Goodfellow. My boat serves me as house and transport. And I deliver to her in isolation on the ship still in the river.
And where do you get provisions?
Go to Woolwich or Greenwich. and the farm's on the Kentish side. The fowls, eggs, and butter I takes to the ship's side, and they all am on board.
And does this keep your family?
Well, I earn a little money here. I have a few coins and with some bread and a bit of saltfish.
And how do you get it to your family, as the cottage is shut with plague?
Well, you see that stone over there? I put some money under the stone and a bag of provisions next to it. And then I call out, and my wife comes at a distance and she retrieves it.
Well, then he showed me. He called out, "Sarah, Sarah!" And out she came, poor woman. A wretched creature, just skin and bone, with a child of about 5 years of age clinging to her skirts. They called to each other, and she picked up the goods before scuttling back inside. It was a sorry sight indeed, and I hastened away before I could bear the sight no more. I tried to forget what I had witnessed, but it troubled me greatly for many days after that I had not offered to help the man and his wife with a few coins or some bread. What are we come to now that we have lost all filial feeling to our brother man? Has this pestilence made us into brute creatures with no heart? Is our humanity eaten by plague too? So I determined to go back to the river and see if I could locate the cottage again. And as I drew near to the spot, I saw the man again, just tying up his boat to the shore. So I called out to him. "Well, hey there, Boatman Elijah. How fare you, my fine fellow?"
I am as you see me, sir. Do I know you?
We were at a distance, so I supposed he may not have recognized me. I went a little closer. "Last week I was here and we talked. Daniel Defoe, writer. You live over there in that cottage with your wife, Sarah by name, I believe."
Yeah, you're right in what you say, sir. But come no closer. Be careful for yourself and my health also.
Well, last week you were well, Elijah. Has something worse happened?
Not to me, sir, but you are from the city, where it is well known that pestilence is on every street now.
I have no illness on me, I can assure you.
But you may well carry it.
I am very careful, and I have already been shut up for the prescribed period and examined after. I am free of illness like yourself. I wanted to reassure him, as I had determined not only to give him provision, but also to persuade him to take me out on his boat. The river looked inviting, and I thought to speak to some on board the ships he provisioned.
Forgive my suspicions, sir, but many rely on me keeping well. And my family and those on the river I bring supplies to.
I would not for all the world cause you trouble, Elijah. I just wanted to give you this. I had some money, a few victuals, and some clothing wrapped up in a sack. I put it down and walked a little distance back while he examined it.
The money I will take, sir, and the bread. The clothing I will leave, for my wife is fearful of goods from others' houses. But I thank you kindly for your trouble.
And how is your wife?
She lives still, sir. Thank you for asking. And is a little better, I'm glad to say.
And the child?
The child died, sir.
I am sorry, Elijah.
Oh, my. She were a pretty little thing when she were born, and I had high hopes that she might keep my wife company when she were a bit older and I'm out on the river, but she is free from life's pains now and nothing more will trouble her, so I must be grateful for that.
You have other children?
One left living, a boy of 7, and he is in good health, thanks be to God. And my wife is young enough to be blessed with other children. Once this pestilence is past, then we have a mind to live together once more.
I'm glad you're so hopeful, Elijah, but I'm amazed you do not curse God in your distress.
Others have suffered the same, or worse. We are like the children of Israel, when the plague of Egypt passed across the land and the eldest of every child died. It's a great sorrow, and not to be made light of. But at least some of us are spared. Now I must get back to my work, sir. I thank you kindly for the money and the victuals, and I wish you good health.
He went on his way, and I did not ask him to go out on the river, for I did not want him to be fearful, or to feel obliged to me. He has a hard enough task keeping body and soul together, and I determined that I would visit him again with more provisions in a week or two, and to see how he did. This small act of kindness, and his hopeful attitude and words to our present trials made a certain calm within me, and I thought to maybe take a turn with my pen that evening. Maybe Crusoe is calling me now. Maybe there are worse things than being alone.